Zone, The Visitor. Sundays at 8 only.
They'll just fire it in and go to the bench to finish the change. Severin going after it, lumbering after it in the corner, has the hook on Richter, who escapes. The Islander defenseman floats it down the ice, and another icing. We've seen a lot of these tonight. This one again against New York. With 12:39 remaining in the third period, and the score tied at 2 on the Dallas Stars Hockey Network.
What sounds really good?
Your chance to watch the Dallas Stars in action against Colorado in the Mile High City. The Dr. Pepper road trip. Register to win at the Dr. Pepper display at any participating Kroger, courtesy of the Dr. Pepper Bottling Company of Texas.
Well, Brent Severin getting a little ice time here late in the game in the third period. Didn't see much. I don't think he saw the ice after the first period in New York on Tuesday night. So big Simba, I guess.
Played 2 minutes and 18 seconds, in fact, against the New York Rangers at Madison Square Garden.
It always seems with him that he gets a scoring chance or a couple in the opening 2 shifts or so, and then he doesn't score on them, and then he never sees the ice again. But he's the type of player. Remember the Philadelphia Flyers had a guy, Battleship Kelly, used to throw him out there. Shiro used to throw him out there all the time. Just run around, he'd hit everybody on the ice. His job really was just to go out and rub a little bit of his jersey on everybody on the other side, and it would enliven the bench.
Carbonneau, Severin, and Verbeek now. The forward trio for the Stars. Ken Hitchcock with a bit of the mix master going. Smolinski got it in. They took a pretty good hit from Hatcher. Matvichuk gunning it up the far boards. Held in. Right point. Richter. A shot. Save. Turk. Rebound. Spit just wide as Trevor Linden couldn't connect. Harlock in the Islander zone. Jerkovsky plays it to the left wing side at center. Verbeek there to take it away. Tossing it back to Matvichuk. Not a Hatcher at the Dallas line. Darian walking it ahead and rolling it deep into the New York zone. The Stars getting a change here. And Smolinski hit by Gaby. Gaby's been feisty in the game. Played it around behind. Richter pursued by Reed. Gaby there as well in front for Keane. He'll take it around behind. Taken down by Harlock. Reed will pick it up in the near corner. Leaving it for Keane. Dropping it again as the Stars work it around the boards. Smolinski has an opening, and he'll skate it forward, hand it to Linden. Left wing at center, he'll backhand it deep. Turek cutting it off, giving it to Hatcher, who rolls it around behind his goal. Dave Reed in position to guide it back to Daryl Sador. Springs it forward to Keane. It's into the middle of the ice. He got away with a pass, but the Islanders slam it right back in.
They've had trouble at times when they've been their feet planted with the puck, say 10 feet inside their own blue line, rather than their feet active. That's Dallas, and then they've turned pucks over with that first pass in the neutral zone.
Stars this time whisk it in deep. Use the opportunity to get a change. 10:55 left in the third. And a high sticking call as Pat Verbeek had that one way up high and knocked it down.
Well, Mike Modano with the goal. Not an oil painting by any stretch of the imagination as far as what Mike Modano usually does in the goal scoring department. Has moved to within 1 point now of Brian Bellows in second spot on the franchise's all-time scoring list. He has 721 points. Bellows 722. And Neil Broughton, who's number 7, hangs elegantly atop at Reunion Arena, is numero uno.
Modano probably not next year, but the season after. All things being equal, will then have a chance to catch and overtake Broughton. Now in the New York zone, they're able to get it up over Verbeek to Donato at center ice. Here they come. Reichel taking it in. Lettman coming back. Palpy from the high slot, firing, and a pad stop from Turek.
It's just a magnet. The puck just follows. 16 white, Palpy.
He's waiting for it in the corner. That didn't get to him yet. Zubov has Donato tied up. Puck squirts to Sador. He'll launch the attack forward for Dallas to Lettman. They're in. Lettman in front for Newendijk. Tied up, and Salo diving forward makes the play. Sador there challenging. Palpy in front of the New York Islander goal. Well, the next time you can catch our fine work, as our producer Buck Spivey likes to say, will be tomorrow night in Buffalo on the Fox Sports Net, on Fox Sports Southwest, and News Talk 820 WBAP on the radio simulcast. We'll start at 6:30 Dallas time against the Buffalo Sabres.
A big question whether it's going to be Dominic Hasek. I'm sure it'll be Eddie Belfour tomorrow night. Hasek with the second best goals against in the league. Belfour with the number 3. They're a smidgen, an eyelash apart. Stars have had Hasek's number. They'd probably like to see the guy because they, of any team in the league, have found a way to perforate him whenever they've seen him. Last time we were there, was that when Lettinen scored the shorthanded penalty shot goal against Hasek in a pretty one? That was a long time ago.
That was last year, opening night in Buffalo on the road. And so it was. We've not been in beautiful, bountiful Buffalo since October last. Staying at a new hotel now, too. Be anxious to see what that brings. Here's LaPointe bringing it into the Dallas zone. Ludwig forces him wide to the near side. Back out on top. Pilon, wrist shot, save Turek. Rebound, got away. And a high stick called against Kenny Johnson.
Well, they have this line especially, I think, has played well for the Islanders. Nemchinov, Lawrence, and LaPointe. LaPointe has good speed. Nemchinov can skate. Lawrence can skate for a big man, and they've played almost exclusively against the Modano unit out here tonight. They like to have some veterans on the back end. Pilon and Johnson have been the defensemen most of the night. They have speed, they have size, they have a lot of things that can match up against that line for Dallas, because Modano has speed and size. Lettinen has work ethic and tenaciousness and some speed. Langenbrunner can do the same thing too. So if you're going to shut them down, you better be able to do what they do.
And it's an innovation of Bill Stewart's to use a checking line. Apparently Mike Milbury didn't really have such a trio when he was behind the bench.
A little bit of arrogance dripping there that we don't need a checking line. We'll just match some people up, throw them over the board. Everybody has to do the job.
This is a good idea by Bill Stewart. It's worked well. Maybe other teams will pick up on it. Here comes Reed attacking again into the New York Islanders zone. Richter taking him out behind the net. Hatcher well down. Flip it to Gaby back of the goal. Collision of bodies there, and Dave Reed picks it up in front for Keane. Off Salo. Keane can't get his stick on it. Here comes Trevor Linden in full flight through center ice, angling to his left into the Dallas zone. For Smolinski, a blast. Turek saw it, made the stop. Hatcher moving it ahead to Gaby again. From center ice, he'll work it deep. Then took a glancing blow from Cherkowski, gave him one back. The near corner, Richter. Playing it to Cherkowski. Marius ahead to Linden. It's broken up. Neuendijk with a steal at the line, but they can't make anything of that opportunity. Hatcher following the play, will wrist it deep. Salo cutting it off with 8:40 remaining in the third. The game is tied at 2. At center ice, Smolinski drives it deep. Islanders will use this opportunity to change, and the Stars will work the puck forward with the open ice. Verbeek moved to get around Palffy, got it across, but LaChance clears it off the glass to center.
They got it in, but not deep enough. The gap control for the Islanders has been excellent tonight. Their defense has stayed right up with their forwards.
Zubov rips it in. LaChance getting there along the far boards in the New York zone. Neuendijk kept it in. Lettinen pushing it behind the goal. Neuendijk there, looking in front for Verbeek. A shot. It's blocked by Chara. And cleared.
Verbeek just shot. I know he didn't see the goalie because he had Chara in front of him.
Here's Verbeek again. Chara in front of him again. This time he just drops it deep.
That's quite a matchup.
Here's Zubov with a steal. He tried to fire it at the net, but he fanned on it. Donato will work it out to center. Wrist it in. Turek stopping it. Zubov picking it up.
Islanders are out changing the Stars right now, trying to get an energy boost here midway through the third.
Langenbrunner into the zone. Shot went off. Nemchinov behind the net. Modano will pick it up there. Cutting out left wing half boards. Leaving it for Marshall in the corner. Modano taken down. He's on his knees as Dallas centers the puck to Marshall. And the whistle stops play with Modano down in a heap inside the New York Islander blue line. We'll check it out and come back. 2-2 the score on the Dallas Stars Hockey Network.
If we never release a new Porsche 911, the sun will still shine. Life will go on. For the world is quite satisfied with the 911 it has now. Unfortunately, we're not very good at being satisfied. Introducing the new 911. It's everything we know so far, which is a lot.
You're the home seller here. The home buyer is there. So how do you get from here to there? With Buy Owner's Help. We advertise your home to buyers more ways than you can imagine. You pay no real estate commissions, so the money you make goes in your pocket. And it all begins with you.
Through Buy Owner Realty, we now offer a money-back guarantee. For details, call now.
With you and Buy Owner, it's as good as sold. Thanks, Buy Owner.
News Radio, weekday afternoons on KDFI Channel 27.
Well, Mike Modano got admiring his pass a little bit and some instant brutality compliments of Mark Lawrence. I think it just winded him.
Modano got up and he's on the Dallas bench. Here's Hatcher carrying it in the New York zone. Eluding Tchaikovsky to put it behind the net to Botterill, to Carbonneau. A slap shot caught and held by Tommy Salo.
Well, good save. It was off the net, low on the short side, but no rebound out of it. The Islanders have had a history of Swedish netminders. There have been 5 Swedes who've played in the National Hockey League, and 3 of them have worn Islander colors. Pelle Lindbergh, the best known one, who died in a car crash with Philadelphia. Soderstrom, Salo, and Hugusta. Goran Hugusta, I know you know him, who played here and with Quebec. And Hardy Astrom, the other guy, the other Swedish goaltender. Don Cherry's favorite, who played for Cherry when it was the Colorado Rockies, not the Colorado Avalanche, the first goal round in the mountains.
Doing a little better now. Keane to Hatcher, right point, slap shot. He gunned it wide. Maze of bodies in front. Well, the Islanders clear it at center ice. LaPointe streaking after it. He got around Hatcher. He's in. Diving poke check save by Roman Turek to keep the game tied. And an icing call against Dallas.
Well, forget about the Swedish keepers. How about the big check? He read that thing beautifully. Hatcher couldn't get his feet out of the sandbox and keep up with LaPointe. And I don't think, even if Darian Hatcher's at full speed, I don't think he keeps up. I don't think he keeps up with LaPointe. And LaPointe was outside, got the jump, tried to bring it in from the left-hand side in front, and Turek with that long reach just stuffed him. Great poke check. It's all timing to do that. And you can't go too soon or the guy will go over top. LaPointe tried to put his shift on to bring it from his forehand to his backhand, and Turek said no.
You know, that breakaway save on Palffy, which really kept Dallas in the game. They were able to score with the Stars to make it 2-2, and that one, huge for the Stars. Here's Chara pounding away from the left point.
Key saves at key junctures of the hockey game, and that's what the Stars goaltending has given them all season.
Both Belfour and Turek. Verbeek crashing in the Islander zone. Lettinen there as well to battle with Smolinski and Chara. Verbeek hit by Smolinski along the left wing boards. Freed, a chance, pulls it behind his net, guns it around the near boards. Gaby keeping it in there. Now Tchaikovsky backhands it out over Ludwig's head. And they'll give him the icing.
Well, getting back to Turek for a second, his road save percentage is close to 94%. So he's given them all the saves that you'd expect out of him on the road. And you look at the 2 losses that he's picked up on the season. They've scored 1 goal for him in those 2 losses, a 2-1 loss and a 2-0 loss in Vancouver. And, you know, speaking of Swedish netminders, there have been a couple of pretty good checks, too. Hasek, who we may see tomorrow night, Turek, a guy named Yuri Sirha. Remember him when he played with the Leafs? And I don't think Zorilla ever came over and played, but he did play in the Canada Cups, which are now the World Cups, and played for the Czechs and beat Canada way back in the early 80s.
Vokun in Nashville now?
Yes, good.
Stars center it. Marshall got it at the net, but not all of it, and Salo makes the stop.
Yeah, Vokun's been an important guy for them, too, because Mike Dunham, their #1 guy and a fabulous netminder, has not been able to go on consecutive nights because of a groin injury. So Vokun, who when we saw Nashville in those back-to-back games, he played very well in the win, beat Turek at the other end. And, you know, their coach was talking about him for Rookie of the Year. Salo won't be Rookie of the Year, but he's given his team enough saves to keep them in it here. I don't think Dallas has tested him as severely as the Islanders have tested Turek.
LaPointe beats Modano in the circle to Salo's left. Janssen floats it ahead. It goes off LaPointe. It rolls wide of Turek's net, and guess what? Another icing call against the New York Islanders. Well, season ticket holders, don't forget to take advantage of your exclusive renewal options for 1999 Stanley Cup playoff tickets. The deadline for payment is Wednesday, March 17th. Operators are standing by now at 214-GO-STARS. You can also get on the list for season tickets for next year by calling the same number. And I'll tell you what, folks, I'll tell you what. People are going to be screaming. That's going to be the hottest ticket in town. Renew now. Face off in the Islanders zone. 2-2 the score with 5:41 remaining in the third period. Modano and Lapointe again.
Lapointe's their best face-off, man. He'll take the majority of these defensive draws.
He won that one. Pilon pulling it back of his goal. Marshall had a look, peeled back. Pilon moving it carefully ahead. Eluding Marshall's check, using the boards. Got it ahead to a turning Mark Lawrence, who played it deep. Grant Marshall picking it up in the Dallas zone, whisking it around, held in at the right point. Pilon shot, it hit Langenbrunner. Ludwig backing up, guns it ahead to Marshall. At center ice, he tossed it in across the line, but not too deep. Janssen's able to clear it right back out. Sador, pass to Marshall didn't click. Lapointe driving into the Dallas zone, gunning it around behind. Lawrence hit by Sador. Stars pick up the puck. Here's Modano. Cross to Sador. Right wing pass to Marshall. The Stars are in on the attack. Marshall waits, fires. Salo kicked it away. It bounces. They throw it toward the goal. Langenbrunner behind for Marshall in front. The pass blocked by Janssen. Sador collided with the goaltender Salo, and coming after him is Mark Lawrence as the puck was fed up into the stands. Two-two the score. 4:38 remaining in the third period. The end of it coming up on the Dallas Stars Hockey Network.
Sports Day, award-winning coverage that pulls you in. So many stats it borders on indulgence. It's quite compelling. Maybe too compelling. Pick up a copy today.
And a half remaining third period tie hockey game here in Uniondale. Close chance. Langenbrunner from behind the net tried to go in front to Marshall, but they had Marshall fronted and reared. Their forwards have come back and helped their defense an awful lot in this game so far. Janssen broke up the play, but Lapointe was right there as well.
Gavey will try it against Lapointe. The circle to the left of Tommy Salo. 2-2 the score. 4:38 to play in regulation. Lapointe wins another draw. Keane in battling in the right wing corner, leaning on Harlock. He's worked up the near side. Keane in a furious contest there for the puck. It's hit by Harlock. Reed able to come away with it. Lapointe leaning on him. Play it into the near corner. Richter can't get it around Reed. Now they do. Reichel trying to clear. Zubov holding it in. It bounces along the near side. Zubov taken down, played around behind the net.
They've had more of that in-your-face stuff tonight, the Islanders have, than Dallas has. It's been spotty for the Stars. This line has been the best, probably. That puck didn't go off the clock.
It was very close. Good hang time on that clearing attempt. Now at center ice, Keane rolls it down the wing, deep into the New York zone, but Harlock has it there, pursued by Lettinen, gives to Donato. Looked up ice, then skates it forward, wrists it in. Turek back to cut it off behind his net. Matvichuk slapping it around the boards. Lettinen catching up to it. Here come the Stars. 3-on-3 at the line. Lettinen cutting hard. Backhand shot and a save by Tommy Salo.
That's a pretty good backhand out of Lettinen, who's out there playing with Nieuwendyk and Verbeek, and now Chara's right in the face of Nieuwendyk down in behind the Islander net. Well, you can't miss Zdeno Chara. He looks like he should be posting up down low, getting fed inside, maybe bumping bodies with Vlade Divac. A big man. He played in my hometown, played junior hockey in Western Canada, in Prince George. His dad wrestled in the '76 Olympics. I don't know if he was as big as the boy is at 6'9". Man, he could put you in a pretzel at that, couldn't he?
Yeah. 255 pounds on that frame, and you saw him walking around, and I mean, he could put another 50 on and not even show it.
But as big as the league continues to get, he was an oddity a few years ago. Now he's just a little bit bigger than some other guys. Yeah. There are a lot of 6'6", 6'5" players in the NHL nowadays.
Face off to Sallow's right. Neuendijk wins this draw from LaPointe. Matt Tkachuk, a shot! Tipped by Lettinen, just wide. Smolinski trying to clear. They do get it out. Hatcher at center ice using the boards. The Stars relay it in. There's no icing here. 3:10 remaining in the third period. 2-2 the score. Zdeno Chara lugging it out. Stick handling at center. Bouncing it in. Turek makes the stop on the one-hop.
Oh, Turek got a late read on that thing and sort of allowed the puck to play him rather than coming out and taking away the bad bounce.
Verbeek is able to bounce it out to center ice. Janssen sliding it across inside his own line to LaChance, and then he gets it back. Stars making a change here. Janssen carrying it to the Dallas line, chipping it in around Marshall and deep. Smolinski putting it behind the net. Trevor Linden trying to center to Cherkowski. Langenbrunner's there, but he can't get it out. Linden again to Smolinski. A shot and a pad stop from Turek. They have trouble with the rebound, but Marshall spins it across for Modano, who steps past Smolinski to give it back to Marshall. They're in. Grant Marshall floats it into the right wing corner. Modano along the near boards with no options, puts it behind the net. Langenbrunner chasing after it. Pilon picking it up, moving it quickly to Linden, who backhands it to center ice. Ludwig there in position at his own line. Stepped away from Cherkowski, feeds it ahead to Modano, walking it in, right wing side. Left it there for Zubov, but it's cleared by Janssen to LaPointe. Ludwig there, trying to get position on LaPointe, who stops, throws it in front, Turek the stop, and a collision in front. The puck skidded just wide of the post to Roman's right.
A guy like Lawrence, who is the man who broke in on Turek, is a tough guy to control when you're that big and you can move that fast. And I thought Ludwig did a marvelous job of containing LaPointe, who's a quicker and shiftier player along the left wing wall. And then Lawrence realized, I'm just going to do the simple thing and drive to the net. Modano had to try to contain him from behind. Ludwig almost lost LaPointe for a second and then used a little bit of smarts and some cutting horse ability. And then Turek made the save, and the puck just dribbled off of him, off Lawrence, and wide of the net. He's made his presence felt tonight, Mark Lawrence has.
One-time property of the Dallas Stars. Center ice. Stars win the draw. Zubov gives it to Carbonneau. The near boards for Keane. It's poked away from him. Carbonneau following the play, drives it deep. 1:40 left in the third. 2-2 the score. Puck behind the Islander goal, or to the far side. Keane battling with Reichel. Palffy is able to get it out. Sador to Zubov at center. Merrill gets the return up to Carbonneau, backhanding it in. Chara going after it behind the goal. Playing it to Palffy. Can't get it out, but now does get it to Reichel, who finishes the job. And again, it's Sador in front of the Dallas bench, who left it at the line. Reed handing it off to Keane, and LaChance got his stick on it there. Stars making a change with 1:05 remaining in the third. Palffy from center, gunning it in. Winds around to Turek's left. Along the far side, Dallas can't get it out. Pilon chopping it toward the goal. Sador handing it to Zubov. Zubov buying time, advancing to Verbeek at center ice. He plays it to the Islander line. They whisk it ahead. Smolinski attacking left wing at the Dallas line. Zubov forced him to go back. And Pilon will control inside his own line with 40 seconds remaining.
This is where the Islanders have been good. They've had a lot of patience in their breakout as the game has gone on. No big hurry to bring it up ice.
Now they lead Cherkowski in with a pass. A shot is knocked down by Turek. Zubov up the far side. Lettinen turns it in front of his own goal for Matt Tkachuk, who outlets to Verbeek at center, but the pass got away from him. Janssen to LaChance inside the Islander line, and back to Kenny Janssen. Drives it ahead to Cherkowski. Marius firing it in. And, well, it looked like it was offside, but Turek made the stop. 8 seconds remaining in the third. Modano lost the handle in his own zone and then got whacked by Smolinski for his trouble. And the third period has ended. just like the other night in New York. It was 1-1 after the first, 2-2 after the second, and no one scored in the third.
This has almost been a carbon copy, and I know teams get a lot of reconnaissance nowadays, and I'm sure the Islander coaching staff watched the game against the Rangers on Tuesday against Dallas, saw some things they wanted to try against the Stars, and this has looked an awful lot like that game. Good goaltending, some big saves at both ends, and some hard work along the skirts of the rink.
Overtime is next on the Dallas Stars Hockey Network.
Eyes of a puppy dog, lips made for sin. You're not dreaming, I'm for real. We got a call.
Zygmunt Palffy has both New York Islander goals. Dave Reed and Mike Modano has scored for the Stars. We're headed for overtime with the game tied at 2. No scoring in the third period, but clearly, Razor, New York had the better opportunities.
They had 3 good ones, and LaPointe figured in a couple of them. A shifty winger. He brought the puck in over the blue line on a 2-on-1 with Nemchinov. The fake slapper froze Turek, but the pass didn't click with Nemchinov on the other side. Probably the save of the game. Turek with that poke check on LaPointe. Perfect poke check. Textbook out of Turek. And then Modano with a good play getting back defensively on number 44, Lawrence. LaPointe again from the wall, threw it in front of the net. Modano got leverage on Lawrence, and Turek made another save.
In the overtime periods, the Stars have not lost. Their lone win coming on the road at Phoenix. They're 1-0-10. The Islanders 1-3-7 with 4 of their 11 games decided. First team to score wins. Neither team scores. The game goes into the books as a 2-2 overtime tie. Just a 5-minute period, and right away the Stars ducking on their own bench as the puck was shot that way.
Well, for Ken Hitchcock, I think what he wanted heading into this game tonight was they wanted to keep the Islanders from playing a pretty flow-type hockey game. They wanted to drag them down in the mud a little bit. Don't allow the Islanders to play a puck control game. And as the game's gone on, I think they've done that a little bit, the Islanders. They've had control of the puck in a lot of areas. They've been patient with it. Dallas has had some guys that have been ready to get in the face and muck a little bit, but some guys that haven't.
Face off at center ice. Nieuwendyk controls. Lidster decides to drive it in around the boards. Nieuwendyk after it, left wing side. Pass ricocheting behind the net. Verbeek picking it up, finding some room. Cutting against Smolinski. Dealing it into the circle, but right to Linden. And back come the Islanders, but they're outmanned at the Dallas line. A drop past Jurkovsky, shot blocked away by Turek. Lettinen playing it up the boards. Nieuwendyk tips it ahead to Verbeek, who's taken down at center ice. And under different circumstances, he might have gotten the call.
He hasn't called anything tonight, so he's certainly not going to call that.
Chara pounding it in. Sador will pick it up in the Dallas zone. Almost lost the handle. Pulls it behind his net. Settling it down. 3:50 remaining in the overtime. Here come the Stars. Aaron Gavey ahead. Cutting to his right. Bringing it down the near boards. Playing it into the corner. Richter there. He's hit by Reed. Trevor Linden along the near side in the New York zone, using the boards to bank it ahead to Reichel. Across the Dallas line it goes. Zubov nudging it up the glass and out. Harlock at center, dealing it back to Richter at his own line into the middle. Donato backhands it deep. Left wing corner in the Dallas zone. Zubov gave it away to Palffy. He'll take it to the far corner. Pass intended for the point man, broken up, and here comes Langenbrunner the other way. 3-on-3 with Keane. He's in. Wrist shot blocked away by Salo to the far side. Langenbrunner and Pilon muscle for it there. Modano had to tap it back, but he gave it to Palffy. 3-on-3 rush for the Islanders to the Dallas line. Zubov tried to poke it away. Donato kicks it behind the goal. Sador rubs him out there. On the right wing side, Langenbrunner tried to clear, he couldn't. Keane using the boards, can't get it out either. Nemchinov down low. And Donato battles with Sador. Keane attempting to clear again. And the Stars will work it ahead. Langenbrunner to Modano. Into the New York zone, across to Zubov. Right circle, slap shot. It goes off Nemchinov and well up into the stands.
Oh, what a great read of the ice by Modano. A lot of guys would have went with the first option. Instead, Modano just waited a half a tick. Allowed Zubov to bring it in or get in over the blue line on the right side and then just lofted one over to him. Zubov seemed to have a little bit of indecision as to whether he wanted to go back across the ice with a pass or just shoot it, and that allowed Nemchinov to get over there and deflect it up into the stands. It's been a hard-working game from both sides. the Islanders have been gritty. And, you know, this is their Stanley Cup. Games like this, they've played very well against top teams in the league, especially lately, and they're doing it again tonight.
Face off to Salo's left. They just beat Detroit in this building.
Their power play was a big thing in that one, and they feel their power play. They had 7 power play opportunities against Ottawa the other night. Could have won the game for them in that one, too, and Ottawa's the #1 team in the East right now.
Well, LaPointe against Joe Nieuwendyk. LaPointe won another draw in the Islander zone.
Especially on this side. That's his strength. He can pull it to his backhand.
Stars battle for it. LaPointe steers it out. 2:20 remaining in the overtime. 2-2 the score. Either team scores, they win it. Matt Tkachuk plays it deep, right wing corner. Zdeno Chara up the board, but right to Nieuwendyk. Into the high slot. Matt Tkachuk, slap shot, saves Salo. And he keeps it in the crook of his arm.
Jumped up and sort of put on the gloves and boxed that one for a second. Matt Tkachuk had to get it up and over top of the shot blockers who are coming towards him. I think Pat Verbeek's been marvelous tonight, too. He's had a lot of grit. He skated well. He got in and forechecked on Char and forced him to cough the puck up perhaps quicker than he wanted to. And then Verbeek remained in front of the net and tried to disturb Salo's vision a little bit. The puck was up and Salo had it stick to him.
2:05 left. Verbeek on the bench, so it's Modano's turn. Langenbrunner on his left, Marshall on his right. Zubov and Ludwig, the point men. LaPointe will take the draw again against Modano. Bearing down, Modano won it. Ludwig couldn't see the net, floated it into the left wing corner. Pilon there to pick it up, using the glass. All the way down it goes. A race for this puck. Turek allows Ludwig to go back and pick it up. He had a notion to go out and get it, but let Ludwig make the touch.
Well, communication on faceoffs is important, and usually what you'd see at a Mike Modano, he'd put both hands over like he was riding a bike and try to pull it back to his left. Instead, he kept his stick, or his hand on his stick, like he was going to shoot. And Marshall, the guy along the boards, knew that he was just going to try to tie up LaPointe, and then he would jump in and bunt it back. So he just got his stick in, tied him up. In came Marshall, bunts it back to the point, and they got an offensive chance out of that.
Same 2 again, this time in the circle to the right of Salo. This time it goes into the corner, swept around behind, and Johnsson will pick it up. Islanders attempt to attack at center. Zubov poked it away to Marshall, leaves it for Langenbrunner. He's in, slap shot, and it deflected up over the top of the goal. Modano after it with LaPointe tugging on him. Wrist shot at the net, caught and held by Tommy Salo, and then Johnsson and Langenbrunner twirl each other in front.
A lot of battle going on. These two lines have seen a lot of one another, probably just about enough of one another for one night, and it looked like Modano, Marshall, and Langenbrunner were looking to try to end this thing with about $1.50 left in overtime. It's been a good game.
Yep.
This is just good competition. Not that many people here have been enjoying it because there just aren't that many people here.
I would guess around 9,000 or 10,000 maybe tonight.
Something like that. They've got problems here. Their team's played hard tonight, and they need to get some stuff sorted out from the top on down before they go anywhere.
Face off to Salo's right again. Again, it's LaPointe. Nieuwendyk this time. Verbeek back out, left point. Matt Tkachuk slap shot, save Salo. And he'll hold that one.
Well, he's a sticky bomb right now, isn't he?
Yeah.
Salo, everything just hits him and sticks to him. And it's important because Dallas is driving towards the net. Well, a quick peek at the edge that we started off with before the game. The Islanders usually allow around 3 goals a game. And the Dallas Stars have the lowest goals against in the league, but they've matched them in that tonight. Purpose, it's looked like the Islanders have had a lot of purpose in this one. We gave special teams to New York, and they have a power play goal in the game. And then the skill brokers, the guys up front that can make things happen, that was a push, and that's the way it's kind of unfolded tonight.
2-2, 1:28 remaining. Nieuwendyk wins the draw. Matt Tkachuk, a shot! Salo a save. Verbeek in the left wing corner, hit by LaChance Lettinen. Routed around behind. Nieuwendyk ran right into LaPointe, was taken down, and Trevor Linden bothered by Lettinen along the far boards. Nieuwendyk to Verbeek, a shot, and he dribbled it wide. Big Chara along the near side, can't get it out. Hatcher keeping it in, throws it behind the goal. Nieuwendyk taking it away, centering it into the high slot. Final minute of play in the overtime. Hatcher to Lettinen. His shot is blocked. Man who blocked it, LaPointe, plays it up past Malinsky, not out. Hatcher, shot, they score! Nieuwendyk might have tipped it. And the Stars win it in overtime and set a franchise record with 10 straight on the road without a loss.
I'm pretty sure it was Nieuwendyk. And it all started when he went in and pulled a puck from the near side along the post that Salo wanted to hang on to. And two excellent keep-ins by Derian Hatcher at the point. Nieuwendyk just cruised back out to the front of the net, and as the wrist shot came through, it might have been a double deflection even. Nieuwendyk was the guy inside, Verbeek was the guy up top. It obviously deflected. Nieuwendyk was trying to get away from his man, Verbeek away from Chara. He finally did. Verbeek just skated out towards the point, got his stick up. I think he got a twig on it. I'm not sure whether Nieuwendyk did as well. And there wasn't much hope for Salo, the Islander netminder.
And so the Dallas Stars, for just the second time in 12 tries this season, outlast the New York Islanders. Roman Turek, big story in the game tonight.
Huge. If they go down 3-1, I don't know.
Yep.
On the breakaway chance for Palffy in the second, the huge poke check on Lapointe. The Stars wanted it more in overtime. Good teams find a way to win, and they did. They had the majority of the chances. They wore down the Islanders and got the 3-2 win.
And so the Dallas Stars pick up win number 39 on the season against just 11 losses and 10 ties. 3-2 the final from New York on the island. And we'll come back and have more in a moment on the Dallas Stars Hockey Network.
You're the beer man. Playing in pain comes with the territory. But a few nagging injuries won't stop me from delivering cold Coors Light.
Hey, beer man.
95 is what the doctor called pop-top finger. But I kept cracking open that Rocky Mountain refreshment. 96 was a wicked case of beer elbow. But the fans wanted a frost-brewed beer, and they got it. Knock the beer man out of the game? Well, that would take something really serious. Coors Light! Yeah, you want it. Coors Light!
To catch a delicious tasting fish, you need the right tools.
The Dallas Stars 3, the New York Islanders 2. The final score tonight as the Stars win it in overtime. Joe Nieuwendyk getting credit for the game-winning goal. And welcome back to Dallas Stars Hockey along with Darrell Ray. I'm Ralph Strangitz. That's 3 game-deciding goals in a row for Big Joe.
Yeah, he's got his game back in order again, it looks like. And as we were talking to him in the first intermission, he said this is a rough month for him with all these games in that. But he's got to fight through it, and he seems to be fighting through it with flying colors right now. The game winner and the 1-0 win, the game tire on Tuesday night, now the game winner again here in overtime. For the Islanders, I feel sorry for him a little bit. They played hard and gritty, and a lot of times you say, look at, if you can't win, at least make the other team set the record. And they sort of did that tonight in this one. The Stars set a record for an unbeaten streak on the road.
10 straight now without a loss for Dallas, and they preserved that mark with the game-winning goal in overtime. That's the Dodge game breaker.
You know what? I thought the Modano line set it up, too. They had the Islanders forced in their own zone for an entire shift, and then out came Nieuwendyk and Verbeek and his crew. Derian Hatcher kept the puck in twice at the point, and then you just get guys to the front of the net. Salo had gone down to try to contest the shot. It was deflected as it was wafted in from that right point position, and they've given it to Nieuwendyk. You got to give some kudos, though, to Roman Turek in goal for Dallas. An enormous save in that third period, the poke check on Lapointe as he sprawled out and used that 6'4" frame to stone him. Otherwise, we might not have made it to overtime.
We did, and the Stars won. 3-2 the final tonight. We'll come back and have more on the Dallas Stars Hockey Network.
We're here because we love you.
Talk to us.
Dallas Stars stay unbeaten in 10 on the road in dramatic fashion. A late overtime goal by Joe Nieuwendyk gives Dallas the 3-2 win. Welcome back to Dallas Stars Hockey along with Darrell Ray. I'm Ralph Strangitz, and standing by downstairs, let's go right to him, is Pat Verbeek. And Pat, I have to ask you the question, have you ever been matched up against a guy who is a full foot taller than you for an entire 65-minute hockey game?
Well, it was a tough night against that guy. I mean, I don't know what to say. Really, like David and Goliath out there. I mean, he's a big man, and I mean, he hit me in the first period. All I could feel was how heavy he was. I don't necessarily think he was strong, but I mean, the weight of him just pushed me over like I was a little twig, and it was a battle all night long.
What were you trying to do against him? Obviously, you have the maneuverability to work around a guy like that. He's not going to have the lateral mobility that you have. What was your game plan against him? It was him all night, left D against right winger.
Well, I think that the most part we wanted to really try and give ourselves just a little bit of room against him and move the puck quick and then go before he could, get his big long reach on you. And just in front of the net when I was battling there, I was just trying to pull his feet just enough to spin him off balance a bit that I could get a little bit of room in front of the net for a screen or a rebound or even a deflection. And he was able to block me out half decent, and I knew it was time for me to get out of there in time to make sure we had a guy that was high for a back check.
Full marks for the opposition tonight. The New York Islanders were a very game bunch. Did that surprise you?
No, not at all. We knew that they had played Ottawa very tough, and they had beaten Detroit their past game, so we knew it. They're really playing hard, and it's never an easy game against them, especially in this building. And they had, Palffy, had some timely goals, and we had to keep battling back, and we never did stop. We started to work very hard in their end and started to win a lot of one-on-one battles in their zone, and I think that's where we really started to take the game away.
Pat, you guys set a franchise record tonight, going unbeaten in 10 straight games on the road. 2 streaks like this season. You had another one in December when you guys were very busy, played an awful lot of games, 15 games in that month. You go unbeaten in 9. Now you've gone unbeaten in 10 in this month. I know it's early in this one, but you play a lot of games here too. Is it good to be busy?
Well, I think for our club, yes. I think that we stay sharper and we stay on top of our game better. And certainly when we're when we get to play lots of games during the week, I just think that we're a much better hockey team. I think that when we have maybe 3 or 4, maybe 5 days like we've had a few times this year, that we lose our sharpness and you lose. I don't know if from practicing so long, you lose that intensity that you need to have in the game. Even though you can practice hard, it's not quite the same intensity that you have in the game, and I think that you lose that when you don't have enough games.
All right, Pat, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll stay busy, and congratulations on a good win tonight.
Thanks, Ralph.
You bet. Pat Verbeek of the Dallas Stars. Let's take a look at the final number.
Gritty performance out of him tonight. He was in their face all night. Well, some skill guys are going to figure in the 3 stars this evening. Mike Modano didn't get frustrated tonight, and he had Nemchinov in his face for 65 minutes. Ends up with a goal that went off his skate. And as I said earlier, they really set up the game winner by the Nieuwendyk line. The second star, Zygmunt Palffy, who was dangerous every time he was on the ice, could have had 3. Big save by Turek in the second. He ended up with a pair of goals in the game. And Joe Nieuwendyk with the game winner and a strong effort. Won some faceoffs down the stretch, too, and nobody could seemingly beat LaPointe. He won a couple.
And the final statistics reflect that, there wasn't much work on either power play tonight.
No, and that's the way the game was refereed. You could have called, I would say, probably a dozen penalties and divvied them up on both sides. They didn't do that. The Islanders scored on their lone power play way back in the first period. Dallas goes 0 for 2. Shots on goal, 30-28 in favor of the Islanders. And scoring chances reflected that, too. It was fairly even in that regard. It was a pretty well-played game. Both goalies played very good in this one. The Stars were just one better.
Dallas Stars will get on an airplane and fly to Buffalo. Tomorrow night, they will be at the Marine Midland Arena for a collision with the Sabres. Join us, won't you, on Fox Sports Southwest and on News Talk 820 WBAP at 6:30 on the radio simulcast. Once more, the final, the Dallas Stars set an all-time franchise mark, staying unbeaten in 10. It took an overtime goal to do it. 3-2 over the New York Islanders. For my partner Darrell Ray, Buck Spivey, and Jason Walsh. And we never mention an AD upstairs, but Mitch was fantastic. I'm Ralph Strangis. Good night from